President Trump planning to sign an executive order on social media companies. It's going to happen today. It comes after two of President Trump's tweets were tagged by Twitter with a warning, prompting readers to fact-check the posts. In a rare interview, I spoke with Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg yesterday, virtually. We did that yesterday afternoon, and I asked him what he thought of Twitter's move.
But I think we've been pretty clear on what I think the right approach is, which is that I don't think that Facebook or internet platforms in general should be arbiters of truth. I think that's a kind of a dangerous line to get down to in terms of deciding what is true and what isn't. And I think political speech is one of the most sensitive parts in a democracy. And people should be able to see what politicians say. And there's a ton of scrutiny already. Political speech is the most scrutinized speech already by a lot of the media, and I think that will continue. Now, of course, we have lines. So just because we don't want to be determining what is true and false, doesn't mean that that politicians or anyone else can just say whatever they want. And our policies are grounded in trying to give people as much a voice as possible, while saying, if you're going to harm people in specific ways, or if you're going to do something that's going to cause violence, or if you're saying that something is a cure to a disease that has been proven to be a cure, but it's not, and that could lead people to either not seek another treatment or do something that could be harmful, we'll take that down no matter who says that. We had a case recently where the Brazilian president was saying that that hydroxychloroquine was proven by scientists to be safe, and we had to make the difficult decision of taking that down, even though we want to provide as much voices as possible. So there are lines, and we will enforce them, but I think in general you want to give as wide of a voice as possible, and I think you want to have a special deference to political speech.
But as we get closer to the election and commentary around the election and questions even about whether we're going to have a constitutional crisis, I mean, that has already come up. Could you see yourself fact-checking certain things that are coming either from the White House or other politicians in the United States?
So, I mean, let me be clear about what we do. For misinformation more broadly, we have a program to make sure that the things that are spreading virally on Facebook aren't complete made-up hoaxes. So if you look at whatever the top 1,000 or 10,000 links are that are being shared in a given day, some of the stuff that people share on the internet is real junk, and it's completely made up, and you don't want that stuff to be the stuff that's going the most viral. So we have a program where we work with independent fact checkers on that, to make sure that things that are completely hoaxes can be limited in their spread. But that's the point of that program isn't to try to parse words on is something slightly true or false. It's really to catch the worst of the worst stuff. In terms of political speech, again, I think you want to give broad deference to the political process and political speech. But there are lines. If we have very clear policies on voter suppression, for example, that if you mislead people on when they can vote or how they can vote in a way that is going to have an effect where people might think that they're voting and exercising their right to vote, but actually aren't, because they show up on the wrong day or vote or think that they're voting but are doing something that isn't actually voting, then we're not going to allow that. We'll take that down no matter who says that. And those are very clear policies. But in general, we've tried to distinguish ourselves as probably being one of the tech companies that is the most protective of giving people a voice and free expression overall. There are clear lines that map to specific harms and damage that can be done where we take down the content. But overall, including compared to some of the other companies, we try to be more on the side of giving people a voice and free expression.
And of course, we will wait to see what President Trump and the administration has planned in terms of regulating social media.